having survived his clandestine incursion into Michal's subconscious thanks only to the sacrifice of the Blue Man, Maru finds himself, for the first time in the long war, hostage to an emotion formerly unfamiliar to him. Fear. MINDRAKER. Background. Anger. Episode 3. Transgression. Recall.
Impending predilection, the demon seed, blue flames and crimson sacrifice, fear transcendent, canary in the coal mine, mind-fucked blues. Invigorating madness, the needle and thread, mind's eye imparts the sacrificial mound. The question looms on the text screen as always at mission's end. How did it go? I spend the day in bed, restless and tongue-tied in thought. The text screen looms in violent remorse, unanswered, unprayed. It did not go well, not well at all. Hermes, psychopomp, transfigured doom, the mind and its shadows, fear lurks and broods. We need to meet, I text back finally. Indigenous poison, a dark landscape on the moon, transformation of the mind, a valuable heirloom, sight into the other, trespassers in your room. Dialectic audio, a tin pan beat, one soul balanced on the fingertip of another. This day form reality, two streams form a river. I call out to work the next morning, sickened imperial, heart stopped on the mind. This is my glorious pleasure. The first half of the day is spent wrapped up in the deceitful comfort of bed, the solace of the grave. Time cocoon spinning, meaning transformed, dreams of dreadful discomfort and hostage remorse. In the waning afternoon, I force myself up, balancing on twisted stomach, shower myself, turn over my clothes, gather my keys. Michal, my Michal. I must see her just to know she's still there after sucking in the disfigured facade of her prison bars. The trap, hideous murder machine, black eye soul on fire. I sign in at the nurse's station, make the pensive walk to her room. As I reach the door, my feet betray me, releasing me to gravity's whim. Deep breath sacrifice, gasping at the moon. The turnover at dawn, diver in the black bell, compression, recession, the tax collector heart, protection racket, widow's bloom. Up to my feet, steady, steady my breath. Eyes settle on Michal, my Michal. Still here, still breathing machine breaths, unkind copper, artificial mark. I turn and retrace my steps back to the car, cowardice on blast, the terror of my impotent shadow sucking down my failure, gagging on the sun, black moon tyrant, hero not. Then the text chime sings, let's meet. Tenuous remuneration, manifesto beat, the chimes at midnight, a repetitive gun, safety lock on. At our usual table, I find another face waiting in the standard attire, armed with the familiar manila envelope.
Where's Elaine?
Nice to meet you. Name's Andre. I've been assigned to your case.
What happened to Elaine?
I regret to inform you that your previous target manager has expired.
Expired? As in what? Her time is up? Past her due date? What's expired?
She's dead.
Oh. A war?
Cancer. Lung, to be specific.
Jesus, she told me she was fine.
She wasn't.
Is there a funeral? Memorial, anything?
She was cremated immediately. No immediate family heard request.
Damn.
My condolences. However, we do need to get down to business. I'll be providing you with the targets from here forward.
Of course.
You indicated in your text that there might have been some irregularities with your last mission.
Yes, irregularities.
And what was the nature of the irregularity? Were you able to make contact with the target?
No, it's hard to explain.
In her last report, your former spotter noted that you reported phenomena that might indicate your own psychological state might be in question. Could these irregularities be related to this issue?
No, I don't think so. They pulled me off course, away from the target to somewhere else. Some kind of trap.
How did you get out?
The field agent extracted me.
And what happened to him?
I was hoping you'd have that answer.
We didn't know he was involved.
He was still in there when I came out.
I see. Is there anything else we need to know? Any other irregularities?
Michal. My Michal.
No, nothing.
Okay, I'll file the report and the appropriate agency will conduct an investigation.
He slides the familiar manila envelope across the table.
Same target. We need to get in.
Seriously?
War doesn't stop because of one battle.
But I told you it was an ambush. What makes you think it won't happen again?
This time, you'll be ready.
Right.
Happy hunting.
Andre leaves. I sit with my coffee. The spinning gullet, hard maker of the heart, masquerade disco, unquenchable lifetimes in solitary confinement, the ugly marker of time served. The question was simple. If we asked, would you serve? Eternity's gape, justice absurd, rampage hammer, undo the lock. I feel the stare, turn to catch her eyes with mine. Michal, African-American female, single, never married, watching from across the room. A coward's stripe follows me out the nearest exit. Home, manila envelope on the table, a gushing crescendo, Satan's spiral, Lucifer on the moon, gutter call and diaper's wound. I wait for the text, open the envelope, slide out the packet. Carl, white male, 45, medium build, goatee, weak chin, single, twice divorced. Sometimes I hear them laughing. At this moment I certainly do. Indecent echoes of man's own dark nature come to life. A litter of God-hating angels feeding on the plump teat of eternity's breast. A pale slice of frozen time, medium's end, the bottom of the river. Broken frame, the wizard's snow, the soldier's dream, forgotten undertow. In the beginning there was darkness, and the darkness had teeth, and God said, run them all down with your knife. Eat the flesh of the light. Turn the ignition in my heat. Set the cosmos free. Fuck it, destroy it. Self-mutilation come. Eternal damnation for all and all for one. I push the envelope and the papers to the floor. Shut off my phone. No signal, no go. Mission abort. The box steps up in consciousness. You could end this, I tell myself. End it all. Save it all. The cost is just a choice. Occult psychology, meaning broken down. Souls on souls in the ego burial mound. Insincere progression. God's judgment on the mount. A bleeding heartbeat. Time is a rapist of the mind. Penance reserved for a mouthful of dust. I sit in the coffee shop, alone. No spotter, no mission. Blind to the catacombs. Deaf to transmission. A pin drop in my heart. Cynicism, a witticism. Fool's joke by decree. Burn this sorry chasm. Freedom is not for free. A wilderness scourge. Baby's laughter in the moonlight. A voice creeps up in the air.
Don't I know you?
Vanity's purpose, the soul on strike. Michal, the other one, is here. Beyond time's arrow lies the memory of a target, pure and said and done.
I don't think we've met.
No, we've met. I'm sure of it. Can I sit?
I nod. She does. Our eyes connect. The silent passivity of the moon's orbit in the planet's urging grasp, beyond the where and what for.
Where's your friend? The strange woman in the coat I always see you with.
Vacation. Much needed.
All we have in this world is what we can give each other.
Excuse me?
You said that.
I did?
Yes, in a dream. That's where I know you. From my dream.
That would explain it then. I save all my best lines for dream appearances.
I am not a book. When the bottom drops out and the seas arise, remember the name that I told you. The knocking at the door is ceaseless. Don't break the answers.
Man is the sleeping god in the heart of the living. I have to get inside the rainbow. When I sleep, my heart is awake. These thoughts came from you in a dream.
You want to get out of here?
Boulevard on a bent light square. We walk together. Our dialogue flows like a script. Deja vu paradox. Unkill the desire. Let the words spill out. Evermore we burn reality's edge with a punchline of truth. Two pools of consciousness coalesce. The great river of mind. Unified field connectivity. Borrowers short on time.
It wasn't a dream. To be technical, it was your subconscious. But there was a problem, and I have to apologize. I let personal issues make me sloppy with my work, and I left a psychic impression on your mind.
How would you describe the look on my face right now? Incredulous? Because it should be. But somehow, everything you're saying makes perfect sense to me.
It will for a time, but at some point it'll fall apart the way dreams do, shortly after you wake.
What is this work you do? Why were you in my mind?
It's complicated. A riddle with no rhyme. There's a war raging. Invaders have entered our psychic plane. I'm a soldier, a hunter. I work for an organization that finds these trespassers, and it's my job to root them out. They call what I do mindraking.
And one of those things was in my mind.
It was.
Did you destroy it?
Actually, you didn't need any help from me. It was no match for your own primitive drive. It met an ugly end at the teeth of your id.
I have been known to bite. How did you come to fight in this war?
That's kind of hard to explain. My recollection's not unlike your memories of my visit to your subconscious, but I'll do my best. I survived a series of horrifying events, any one of which would change a person forever. I was in a plane crash, pilot suicide. He took 129 passengers to their deaths with him. There was one survivor, me. Not long after I was caught up in a hostage crisis, I was held with 13 others for 21 hours by religious extremists in a Best Buy. I escaped through a side door at some point. I killed a girl. These experiences were a direct result of persons under the negative influence of beings from another realm. An alien invasion conducted not through physical warfare, but by means of psychic infiltration. I learned of this invisible conflict when I was drafted by higher spiritual powers to fight against it. This metaphysical army trained me in a technique of subconscious transference, and I began a feverish war campaign. I was a hero on many occasions, Decorated for valor. Maybe in part because of my outstanding service, I'm not really sure. But the Creator God appeared to me and transferred the authority of his judgment of creation to me.
Judgment. Like the line on the left and the right judgment.
The very one.
But how? How do you make that judgment?
As simplistic as it sounds, he gave me a box.
A box. What do you do with the box?
It's easier if I show you. This is my place. Would you like to come up?
After you, white savior.
Once inside, she grabs me and pushes me against the door. Her lips grab hold, the shock of another tongue on mine. Instant replay of the moment in her mind. A caustic alleyway lost in the ether. Improbable possibility. Fuck the noise in our heads. Semi-formed suicide. Constellation stairway to an alabaster end. Mutually assured annihilation. The answer without demonstration. The text evolves, making peace in the sleeper's dream. Where did the words come from? They've escaped me now. Underground railroad, canonical thought. 2 stars in the night sky. Electronic flatulation. Distortion field signify. Error message. Delete. Return. Reply. Disintegration in mainstream time. She pulls away. Wry smile paints her facade. I bury my face in my hands. A consensus of nothing. She places a hand on my shoulder, compassionate yet disbelieving. To die in the consciousness of another, to save the petals on a rose. What price is anything when everything is the price? This is the reason there is no reason. The shadow of eternity looms. A voyeur of suffering, dirty old man with his hands down his pants. Freedom key, monumental mentality, a life in prison, hostage without reason. The punishment without a cause, benevolent dictatorship of dreams that never end. Stark poetry, beautiful yet meaningless. Sentiment without form.
You gonna show me this magic box or what?
I step to the closet, retrieve the box. She looks it over. Lithe fingers lay, metallic hum swoons.
What does it do?
I place my forefingers into the small grooves on either side.
If I draw my fingers apart, the mechanism opens up. This is the death posture, a judgment of unworthy on mankind. Armageddon follows, the end of days and heartbeat's time.
I slide the 2 sides back together, reforming the cube.
If I turn each hand in the opposite direction, clockwise and counter, the sides turn with them, splitting the cube. This is the redemption arc, a worthy verdict. 1,000 years of peace, humankind will go on. I reform the cube. And there's one more choice. In his infinite wisdom, God installed an opt-out switch. If I push my fingers into the cube, the device collapses in on itself, erasing both myself and it from reality, relinquishing my role as judge and transferring jurisdiction back to its rightful master.
I pull my fingers out and release the controls, shutting down the device.
Would you like to hold it?
I notice the pale look of stark terror in her face. She shakes her head no.
It's perfectly safe, don't worry. It only responds to me. To anyone else, it's just a box.
No, that's fine. Can you put it away, please?
Of course.
The divining rod of action, lightning on the mesa. Turn the wheel, spin it harder, break the will of the fearful. Her hands are on my cheeks, holding my face to hers. She looks into my eyes, gleaning the soul beyond. Then kisses me hard, the last stand at eternity's gate. The passion of fear, straddling a lust for death, and the craving of redemption.
I shouldn't. It's not right.
I decide what's right for me. No one else.
Bender of quantum fate, he comes like a dream. Phantom cosmos, remember well the plug-in consciousness. Burnt cinder and ashes forgotten. Spells remembered. Capture a thought bubble in a butterfly net. Culture of disgrace. Framework reignited. Systemic firefight. And then we're melting. 2 souls disintegrating into one. Flesh to flesh. Desperation catacomb. The survival instinct, a moment of clarity, subconscious motivations wrapped up in a tomb, death's hand laughing, open palm to smash the fly lens. What price survival? Images incomplete. Will to survive is the prime number. The specter of guilt assails me.
How will you judge us? How will we be judged?
I don't answer. For the first time since her time, Michel's time, my Michal, I let go. A synthesis of chaos, deeper the well goes. To what sense this madness? A tourniquet of desires let out on a string, spinning in decaying orbits, gravity smashing celestial objects together with malice and glee. A pitiful freedom, all I hold dear. Disarray and abandon, chaos theory grinding, sweet nectar of the traitor's blood, the irony of completion in the incomplete act. Let those wounds bleed out the bad blood. Let the flowers bloom in the dark field of the soul. And I hold on for dear life. Ghost forms in the morning light, shimmering. Resonant mortality, passivity reprised. Eyes closed, awake. I feel her body next to mine, soft glowing ember. Negation of despair, a handful of ashes, the weight of her sleeping breath. I slide my hand onto her thigh, eyes open to the burlesque rays teasing on the ceiling above. Shadows dance between the light, falling like snowflakes into emptiness. A wealthy desire, peace in knowing, fear of doubt, elusive answer always just out of reach. A solemn moment, a satisfaction in the whole, fleeting, only fleeting, a dog's laughter in the cold. Subconscious subterfuge, the danger of the knife. I turn to look at her, my eyes met by a shock of alabaster skin. Fingers greet the familiar contour of the spine, recognition in a fetal braille, blonde spools of thick golden hair, aurora in the morning haze. A sight impossible, vision of what cannot be. Fear swallows my throat, twisting knots of my gut, lungs run around on an atheist desert. How can it be? Michal, ma belle, here. Impossibly here.
MINDRAKER. Background, Anger. Episode 3, starring Sean Schemmel. Featuring Michael Roxie Johnson, John Martin, and Noel Rodrigo. MINDRAKER. Background Anger is a Spiralopus audio production, created, written, and produced by Roy Burdine. Co-produced by Sean Schemmel. Sound engineered and mixed by Mark Labib. MINDRAKER. Background Anger is copyright 2023 Roy Burdine.